So let's start with the first one. It says here the top surface of a rectangular table has an area of 100 square feet and a width of 5 feet. What's the length? So what do we know about the area? That's how we start. There's a keyword that we start with. So what's the keyword that we start with? It's the area here. They told me that the area is supposed to be 100 feet. And what I know about the area of a rectangle is that it's supposed to be length times width. You were told as well that the width of the rectangle is 5. So this, instead of the W, I'll put 5. Now the missing is the length, and you're given the area already as a 100. So in order to get the length, I'll just move 5 to the other side by division. So then length will be equals to 100 divided by 5, which means the length is 20. So the answer is C. This is a very easy question. It's an important one. We should be able to get the answer. Any questions there? Okay. Now moving on to the second question. It says here a wallet containing 2 $5 bills and 9 $10 bills and 5 $20 bills is found and returned to its owner. The wallet's owner will reward the finder with 1 bill drawn randomly from the wallet. What's the probability that the bill drawn will be a $20 bill? So what's the keyword? Where do we start? يمكن مش عارف كل ده، بس أول حاجة مهمة كلمة probability. أول ما أشوف كلمة probability I think of the rule. So what's the rule of the probability? It's supposed to be the wanted over the total. In this case, the wanted is a $20 bill. How many $20 bills are there? There are 5 $20 bills. So I'll say that the wanted is now 5. While the total is all the number of bills available in this thing. Two and 9 and 5 are a total of 16. So 5 over 16 is the answer, which is J. Any questions there? Bardo, I think this one is an easy one. Remember, in the rule, wanted over total works for more than one thing, not just the probability. It's probability or percentages or fractions. So the 3 of them have the same rule, which is the wanted over the total. Just remember that the percentages we then multiply by 100. لو percentage بعمل في الآخر بعد ما أعمل wanted over total بعمل times 100. Now moving to number 3. It says in his custom supplies, Elmo, the clown, has 4 noses, 3 pairs of lips, and 2 wigs. A clown costume consists of 1 nose, 1 pair lip, 1 wig. How many different clown costumes can Elmo make? So what's the key word here? How many different costumes? So لما يبقى عندي عدد من الحاجات زي الكويستشن ده، عندي مثلا عندي في الاوتفيت بتاعي 3 items let's say، وعندي من كل item عدد choices كتير that's available، وعايز اعرف how many different combination من الاوتفيتس ممكن اعملهم. This method او الطريقة اللي بنحل بيها السؤال ده اسمها fundamental counting principle. هي طريقة عد، احنا بنعد how many possible combination ممكن يطلع، how many possible choice او outfit ممكن يطلع بالchoices اللي عندي. So how do we do so? We leave 3 spaces because the costume consists of 3 elements. في nose وفي lip وفي wig. So 3 spaces. In the nose section, we put the number of choices available. So how many choice of a nose available? There are 4 noses, so we put 4 here. And then in the place for the lips, we put how many pairs of lips available. How many pairs of lips available? There are 3. And then in the place of the wigs, we put the number of wigs available, which are 2. If we multiply these by each other, this would give me the possible number of costumes that he can get. There are 24 possible outfits that he can wear, or the clown can wear. Does this make sense ولا لا? This is a very important idea here. Does this make sense to all of you?
يعني أنا في الأسئلة زي دي هعمل مالتيبلاي لكل الأرقام اللي جاية لي ودي الإجابة؟
Yes. التريك بقى ممكن تيجي في ايه يا احمد؟ انه يقول لك مثلا انه we cannot repeat a specific thing. يعني مثلا imagine لو بدل السؤال ده قال لك على a flag، والفلاج ده consists of 3 places and it has, let's say, red, white and black. And then he's telling you, using these 3 colors, how many different possible flags can you create? Different possible of combination of colors. So بتفكر بتقول أنا عندي 3 أماكن برضو، عندي مكان اللي فوق واللي في النص واللي في الآخر. عندي كام color أختار منه أحط منه هنا؟ عندي كام choice ممكن أختار منه يا أحمد؟
هنا موجود
3. أوكي، طب أنا اخترت بقى already color هنا، دلوقتي بقى في كام color أختار منه؟
2.
بالظبط. وبعدين دلوقتي بقى في كام color؟
1.
لو عملت دول تايمز بعض يديني البوسيبل نمبر اوف فلاجز اللي ممكن يطلعوا. فاهم كده؟ هي طريقة عد في الأول وفي الآخر، هي طريقة عد بنحسب بيها الاوبشنز اللي ممكن تطلع في سؤال زي ده، عشان انت ينفع تعيد، او يعني ما عندكش مشكلة في العدد بتاع النوز ولا في اللبس ولا في الويجز، ما لهمش علاقة ببعض. so you just can multiply them as they are. ساعات بقى بيدي لك شوية conditions، والله مثلا الويجز ما ينفعش يختار منها غير لون احمر مثلا، then there will be only one wig available. فاهم حاجه؟
فانا بعمل لها فلتر.
بالظبط كده.
اوكي تمام.
Perfect. طيب. Number 4 بقى، Esteban and his family are making care packages to send to children at summer camp. Each complete care package contains 5 pens, 2 notebooks, 3 envelopes, 12 cookies, 5 candy bars. They're perfect, amazing care packages. Esteban and his family have already made 7 complete care packages, and the following material remain: 3 boxes of pens, 10 pens per box, 4 boxes of notebooks, 5 notebooks per box, 2 boxes of envelopes, 12 envelopes per box, and 84 cookies, 4.5 boxes of candy bar, 10 candy bars per box. How many additional complete care packages can Esteban and his family make with this remaining material? So عايز أعرف في كم باكج ممكن، أو في كم باكج ثانية ممكن أعملها بالأماونتس اللي عندي دي. So what I need to do now is to understand أنا الباكج الواحدة عايز فيها 5 pens. So I'll divide the number of pens اللي عندي by 5 عشان أعرف كم box أو كم care package ممكن أعملها. So I have 3 boxes. كل box فيه 10 pens. So that's a total of 3 times 10, 30 pens available. And there are 4 times 5, يعني فيه 20 notebooks available. And then 2 times 12, there are 24 envelopes. And there are 84 cookies as they are. And a total of 4.5 times 10. And that's 45 candy bar. Good. So as I said, if I divided the number of pens, the 30, by the number of pens needed for each care package, I'll know إن كده I can create here 6 packages من ده. Now if I divided the notebooks by 2, 20 by 2, I'll have 10 packages. Now that doesn't make sense that I'm going to be able to do 10 packages because البنز هيكفوا بس 6. So far I can cover only 6، بس هنشوف بقى بقية الحاجات هتكفي ال6 دول ولا لا. So برضو هعمل ال 24 اللي هم ال number of envelopes by عدد الانفلوب الواحدة which is 3. So I need كده أو I'll cover كده 8 packages. لو عملت ال 84 اللي هم ال number of cookies by the 12 I'll have 4 packages. Now they're becoming smaller. And then if I did 45 divided by 5, I'll have 9 packages. So what's the maximum number of packages I can create? It's just the 4. Maximum 4. Because بقية الحاجات مش هتكفي لو عملت أكتر من 4. So هو بيسأل كام complete care package can we create؟ ايه ده؟ لا انا عملت كده حاجة apparently غلط. they're not 4. 84 divided by 12 they're not 4, they're 8. I'm sorry. أنا حسبت غلط. They're 8. So actually no, the least is 6 packages. That's the least we can create. Sorry, the maximum we can create.
Mr. مش 84 divided by 12 is 7.
هي كام؟
ايه؟
بتقولي كام؟ 7؟
اه
اعملي ممكن يعني ما اعرفش بجد، مش عارف اعمليها 84 divided by 4 divided by 2 and then
7
7. So خلاص لا يبقى then 6 still remains the maximum I can create. So أصغر رقم is the one that I can create because I need all the other supplies to be enough. عايز عدد notebooks كفاية وenvelopes كفاية وكوكيز كفاية وكاندي بارز كفاية. لو من الكاندي بارز بس ينفع أطلع 7 that doesn't mean إن البنز هتكفي، فآخري أطلع 6 packages total. Does that make sense ولا لأ؟ Mr. Edis calculated the pens because they said complete packages. ما هو how would that makes sense because أو يعني it came معاك I think a bit of برضه by luck لأن أنت ما حسبتش بقية الحاجات. طب ما هو افرض بقية الحاجات كان ممكن يكفي أقل من كده. يعني افرض زي ما كنا عملنا الكوكيز مثلا، لو كان الكوكي الواحدة أو البوكس الواحد لازم يبقى فيه مثلا 4 بس، أو مش 4 سوري، لو كان لازم يبقى فيه whatsoever أكتر. يعني لو كان النمبر اوف باكجز اللي ممكن تطلع من أي حاجة من دول أقل من 6 كنت هتضطر تختار التانية، فأنت غصب عنك مضطر تحسب الباقي كله عشان تشوف إيه أقل عدد ممكن تكفر. Does this make sense شوية يا كريم؟ بيرفكت يا حبيبي، احنا حظنا حلو او انت حظك هنا حلو ان هو البنز لوحدهم كانوا هم دول اقل عدد اللي جم في الاول، بس لو كانوا البنز دول في الاخر كان زمانك فاكر ان هم اول حاجه خالص which doesn't make sense. بس طيب if we find number 5 it says here a formula for the volume of a right circular cone is this. So he gave you already the formula to calculate the volume of a cone which we already discussed قبل كده. اي حاجه ليها بوز هي فيها 1/3 في الاول، فعشان كده في هنا 1/3، وبعدين الباقي ده الباي ار سكويرد هايت، ده الفوليوم بتاع اي حاجه في الدنيا. باي ار سكويرد دي الاريا اوف بيس، ودي الاتش اهي اللي هي الهايت. ف just like what we said about the volume of anything in the world it's area of base times height. اي حاجه ليها بوز زي الكون او البيراميد او كده بعمل في الاول times 1/3. المهم قال لي using 22/7 as an approximate value for pi, so I'll use مكان pi 22/7. Which of the following values is closest to the volume of a cone with a height 28 and radius 6? Just substitute in the rule. So 1/3 زي ما هي، بدل الباي هحط 22/7، بدل الار هحط الراديوس which is 6 squared multiplied by the height which is 28. نعمل ده على الكالكوليتر على طول. ممكن حد يقول لي what was the answer؟ C. Okay, 1056. Any issues there? Any problems في أي حاجة قلناها so far؟ طيب I think we need to skip بقى part 2 and و 3 كمان. Let's work on 4 على طول. يعني hoping إن by now the questions will become a bit hard. The first one is about حاجة اسمها it's about fractions, so hopefully no A. Okay, no, good. And then what value of this does make this, what the value of x makes this proportion below true? It's cross multiplication, it's an equation mainly. There are some areas here of shaded regions. There's an inequality or a system of inequalities and we're trying to find which point satisfies all equations below. There's a question here about the range of y and I can I think you can easily think about this one and come up with an answer. What else? That's it. Yalla. Let's take 7 minutes as well for part 2. 7 minutes starting now. So for number 16, it says for the next school year, a college will use 1/9 of the money in its operating budget for library books, 1/6 of the money in its operating budget for scholarships. What fraction of the operating budget remains for other uses? So I can't really compare these fractions to each other unless they share the same denominator. Like I don't know what's 1/9 compared to 1/6 compared to that's it actually. Yeah, 1/9 and 1/6. I don't know what do they represent. So I need them to be out of the same denominator. How to do so? If I actually multiplied this one by 2 up and down, and if I multiplied this one by 3 up and down, they will both have the same denominator of 18. So 1 times 2 will become 2/18, and 1 times 3 will become 3/18. So this means they took 2/18 of the budget for library, 3 out of the 18 for the scholarships. Now what's the remaining? Understand that the fraction, it's part of total. So 2/18 و 3/18 يعني 5 من 18. So باقي قد ايه من 18؟ 13/18. الباقي من 18 again. So the fractions that remain is 13/18. It's H right there. That's the remaining budget. One other way to do this is you can just multiply 1 in a calculator, 1 minus 1/9 and 1 minus 1/6, because the complete budget the full fraction will be 1. So 1 minus 1/9 and 1 minus 1/16 will give you the same answer, 13/18. Does that make sense to all of you? ولا في أي حد مش فاهم؟ بالظبط. Just subtract the sum from 1. You can do this or you can do that. Good. Now we're moving to 17. What value of x makes the proportion below true? So I told you before, whenever we have fractions equal to each other, this is the only case where we actually are allowed, or we're supposed to do what? Only cross multiplying. That's the only thing we can do from here. So we'll cross multiply, and we're going to say that 10 plus x multiplied by the 35 is supposed to be equals to 10 times 42, and then work out this equation. So you can just move the 35 to the other side by division على طول. I'll have 10 plus x equals 420 divided by 35. Can someone tell me what's the answer for this? What's 420 divided by 35? 12. Okay, 12, and then move the 10 to the other side by subtraction. So 12 minus 10 will give me the x value equals to 2. So x needs to be equal to 2, and that's it. Does this make sense, everyone? طبعا this is one way. Another way, because you have your calculators with you, you can just substitute every one of the choices, but that I think is harder, not easier, by the way. You can just try out the numbers. حط مكان x2 شوف الانسر هتطلع 35/42 ولا لا. I think this is longer and harder. If we move to 18, it says the rectangle shown in the figure below is partitioned into 3 triangles, 2 of which are shaded. What's the total area of the 2 shaded regions? So there are 2 ways to do this. there is a way where we can calculate the area of this and the area of that and then add both shaded regions together. And there's another way, which is to get the area of the big shape اللي هو this whole rectangle and subtract منه the white part. This will give me the shaded region. I always prefer, whenever there is a shaded region, I always think we should do a big shape minus the not shaded shape. That would give me the shaded. يعني ايه؟ فانا هجيب هنا ال area of this whole rectangle. The area of a rectangle is supposed to be length times width. So the area of the big rectangle is supposed to be this 10 multiplied by this 8. I have the lengths here. 10 times 8. That's 80. 80 is the area of the big thing. Now I'll remove from the 80 the area of the white triangle. This triangle here. So what's the area of a triangle? It's supposed to be half times the base times the height. Now the base here is 10, clearly. Now what about the height? The height is the 8, because the height is supposed to be الطول اللي من أعلى point في التريانجل لحد البيز of the triangle. الطول ده هو 8 نفسه. So it's half times 10 times 8. It's mainly 80 minus 40. So this is a 40 inches squared shaded region. Does this make sense ولا لا? It's very important because it's definitely there in tests, but it's at the same time extremely easy, so that's why it's important. We like the questions that are kind of guaranteed or can be easily calculated. This is one of them. Remember, again, the first thing to start with, or the idea of how did we start everything else, is the fact that whenever we need a shaded region, we'll get the bigger area minus the smaller area. Apparently, in the volumes, we do the same with volumes, right? So in volumes, there wouldn't be shaded regions, يا كريم. But in volumes, what we do, probably most of the time, بيبقى الموضوع إن أنا عندي box كبير أو size كبير، shape كبير وshapes صغيرة، وعايز أعرف الكبير can hold كم واحد من الصغير. In this case, we divide الفوليوم الكبير by الفوليوم الصغير. So what you're talking about in volumes, if we're not talking about the areas, if we're talking about the volumes, we get the volume of the big shape divided by the volume of the small shape, and that would get you how many small shapes can be put into this big shape. مثلا يقول لي أنا عندي box الdimensions بتاعته this and that. 3 dimensions, base length and width and height. And then في another smaller box بتاع games مثلا والdimensions بتاعته this and that. البوكس الكبير يشيل كام بوكس صغير. So we'll divide the volume of the big one divided the volume of the small one. Any issues, any problems, anyone is confused about anything? This is a very important concept. Volumes thing. Type, going back to the areas and the shaded region area, whenever we need to get the shaded region, we mainly get the area of the big shape and we remove منه البارت اللي مش shaded. So مرة question came out like this. There's a square, and then inside that square there's an inscribed circle, and these are the shaded regions. And you're told that the diameter, أو مش diameter, sorry, that you're told that the side of that square length بتاعه is 10. What's the area of the shaded region? So we think about it the same way. We get the area of the big square and remove the white part, the whole circle. So we'll get the area of the square and subtract the area of the circle, we'll get the area of the shaded region. تعالوا نجيب area of the square first. Area of the square, it's base times height, يعني 10 times 10, يعني 10 power 2. The area of the square. Minus the area of the circle. What's the area of the circle? It's pi r power 2. طب what's the r? If this side كده كله على بعضه ب 10, then الراديوس هو نصه which is 5. So الR المفروض تكون ب 5. So it's 10 power 2 minus pi 5 power 2, which is 100 minus 25 pi. This is the area of the shaded region. Does this make sense ولا في أي حد مش فاهم أي حاجة؟ We're all good? Thank you, Kimo. We're all good? Bera, Emri, Ahmad, Nagam, Sama, everyone? Appreciate
Yes,
it.
yes.
Appreciate it, yeah, be good. Let's move to 19. It says here which of the following ordered pairs in the standard XY coordinate plane satisfies the system of inequalities below. Now, the best thing to do here is to try them out. I need x to be bigger than 2. عايز x تكون أكبر من 2. This excludes choice A و choice B على طول، لأن هنا ال x ب 1 وهنا ال x ب 2. يبقى ما ينفعوش. ال x لازم تكون أكبر من 2. Now, عندي يا إما C يا إما D يا إما E. بيقول لي إن ال y needs to be bigger than 0. So C تنفع و D تنفع بس E ما تنفعش. Now I'm stuck between C and D. So I need the x plus the y to be less than 5. If I did here x plus y, it would be 4, which is less than 5. بس لو عملت هنا 3 plus 2, it would be 5. And that's not how it works. C is the only correct answer. عشان أنا عايز ال x وال y plus بعض يكونوا أصغر من 5. Are we good in this one? The majority got this one, I think, right? The majority got this one right except for one. I hope you do understand it now. آخر واحدة بقى. That's pretty interesting. So what's the range أول حاجة؟ الكي to start من هنا هي كلمة range. What's the range of y؟ هي إيه الرينج؟ الرينج is supposed to be all the y values. So الرينج هو أعلى value على ال y وأقل value على ال y. يعني أبتدي من أول كام على ال y وبتخلص لحد فين على ال y. So when you look at the graph, أصغر value is somewhere here. And أعلى value is somewhere there. لو أنا عارف إيه الفاليو دي وإيه الفاليو دي، هم دول الرينج. هقول من أول فين على الواي لحد فين على الواي. This is the range. So look at the choices. هي الواي وصلت لحد negative 5. لا، ده هي somewhere before negative 3, less than negative 3. So الF ما تنفعش. طيب الجي هي فيها negative 2 تنفع ممكن، بس بيقول إنه توصل لحد 2 بس. While here it's clearly above 6. دي أعلى من 6 بشوية. So G ما تنفعش. H والله H تنفع clearly to be honest. هي من أول negative 2 على ال Y لحد 8 على ال Y. This could be 8. It could be. So I leave it for now and say this could be possible. هشوف بقية ال choices. بيقول لي من أول positive 3 لحد 8. لا, it started at negative 2. So دي ما تنفعش. برضو K ما تنفعش عشان it started من 3. So H definitely is the only correct answer. Again, so the range is where does it start? It is clear that it starts somewhere here and it ends there. يعني أقل value هنا almost negative 2 أو حاجة أصغر من negative 3 وأعلى value هنا حاجة أكبر من 6 which is almost 8. لما تبص على ال choices, no other choices fit this criteria except for H. الباقي كله النمبرز الوايز بتاعته يا إما الصغيرة يا إما الكبيرة doesn't fit correct. Does this make sense? Are we all good? Karim, does this make better sense دلوقتي يا حبيبي? I think this is an easy question, a very easy one كمان. بس we needed to know the terminologies and that's all. Well, I think now you know the terminology of the range and you can guess. برضو, if you can tell, the way I solved this one is by eliminating the incorrect answers. بس I did not even try to get an answer on my own الأول. لا, I just checked the answers and I can tell by looking at the answers eliminating the incorrect ones طلع لي واحدة بس صح. So the idea of eliminating choices is extremely important. It sometimes just solves the question as we just saw. في cases زي number 19 it also solved the question. I just got remaining 2 choices, so I had to try واحدة بس. If I tried C and it came out right, خلاص it is the answer. If I tried C and if it didn't come out right, then it's definitely D من غير ما أجربها. So I'll just try once. You see, eliminating the choices made things way easier and much faster. 18 is the kind of question where it's better for you to start from what you know. So you try to solve on your own and then check the choices. لما كنا بنتكلم على 17, it could work both ways. You can try the choices or you can solve it on your own and figure out your answer. But مثلا 16 again is one where you have to do all the operations and then check where's the answer. So you see, دول ال different types of questions اللي ممكن يكونوا موجودين. Any questions about anything that we've discussed هنا so far? طيب, if you don't mind, please دلوقتي head to P6 على طول. So skip P5, we'll head to P6. And as I said, this is getting harder as we move further. So you'll find here a question about probability, بس في trick إن في حاجة هنزودها وكده. And we discussed something very similar to this idea before, if not the exact same question, I'm not sure. Then there's something about the exponents or powers. We did this before and we discussed this before, so you should be able to do this easily. Something about the geometry, but it's not just geometry, it's geometry and حاجة اسمها subsets وكده. It's pretty easy. You'll do this just mentally, reasoning يعني. And then those are very important لأن هنا these are not just 5 questions in total, they're 6. I needed to keep all 3 questions on the same information في نفس الform. So you have here 29, that's about the area, بس في XY coordinate. 30 is about the distance between 2 points. 31 is about the slope between 2 points. 32 is about the reflections in the XY coordinate plane. So all of the last 4 questions are just about XY axis. How do we move points there? How do we calculate distance and midpoints? And we did this bardo before. So hopefully you'll be able to do all of those in no time. Let's also take for P6 7 minutes, hoping that you guys will finish them فعلا within the 7 minutes ولا ايه. And if you needed more time, let me know. I'll add that time later. No worries. طيب, 7 minutes start now. So let's start with 26. It says here, a bag contains 16 red marbles, 7 yellow, and 19 green. I'll write those down just to make things organized شوية. So in the red I have 16, yellow I have 7, and green I have 19. How many additional red marbles must be added to the 42 marbles already in the bag so that the probability of randomly drawing a red marble is 3/5? طيب, let's check what's the probability right now of getting a red marble. It's supposed to be wanted اللي هو الred over the total, which is 42. هو قال لي إن هما 42. Now they need to add how many red marbles, يعني هزود على الred عدد ما اعرفوش, which is x, اللي ما اعرفوش دايما بحطه بx. نفس العدد اللي هيزيد على الred ده هيزيد على التوتال. التوتال كمان هيزيد بنفس الاماونت x برضه. So if the red increased by x, التوتال كمان هيزيد by نفس العدد. I need this to be equals to 3/5. Do you understand the concept here ولا مش قوي؟ It's not done yet, بس هي دي main idea here. So again, everything that happened is the following. I recognized the probability دلوقتي حالا of the red. So it's 16 over the total. Now he needs to know how many additional red marbles. So هزود على الماربلز الريد عدد ما اعرفوش x. التريك here ان نفس العدد اللي هيزيد على الريد لازم يزيد على التوتال. وبعدين ده انا عايزه يبقى equal في الاخر 3/5. Cross multiply in order to get whatever is missing. So I'll do 5 brackets multiplied by 16 plus x equals 3 brackets multiplied by 42 plus x. And then solve this equation. 5 times 16 or 5 times x, this will be 80 plus 5x equals 3 times 42, 126 plus 3x. همove الx's on the same side with numbers on the other side. So 5x minus 3x is now equals to 126 minus 80. This is 2x equals 46, which means x is now equals to 23. So I need extra 23 red marbles عشان probability بتاعة الred تبقى 3 over 5. Does this make sense ولا لا? This is a very important question. So are you sure this makes sense ولا إيه؟ Sama, Nagam, Ahmad, we're all good? Bro, Emily, yes, good. Yes, now I got it, but I remember doing something like it, but I couldn't remember. Yes, that's true. What we did, yeah, Bera, earlier, which is very similar to this, was about the ratios, where we needed the ratio of doctors to the entire medical staff to be something over something. So we added العدد unknown to the doctors was the same exact unknown to the total. The same exact idea, yes. Type for 27, as I said, this is an application of the exponential rules. What we know about the negative powers is that whenever we have a negative power, we move it down to the denominator with its base to become a positive power. So عشان أشيل النيجاتيف ساين من على الباور بحرك الرقم بالبيس بتاعه، البيس بالباور بتاعه بنزله تحت ويبقى positive power. وهنا في الأول قال لي إن ال A bigger than 0 يعني هي positive number. So therefore الرول ده أكيد applies، مفيش فيه نقاش. When you look at the choices then E must be the correct choice. Let's say you do not really remember this. How can you solve this بطريقة تانية? If they said that A is bigger than 0, a positive number, pick a number but not 1. Pick 3 for example. And calculate what's 3 to the power of negative 2. It will get you 1 over 9. So substitute 3 for every one of those. This will become negative 6. This will become negative 9. This will become 1 over 6. This will become 1 over root 3. So the only one that would become 1 over 9 is the E. That's another way of looking at it, but I definitely prefer this one. If you remember it, it's done from one step. Any questions there? Awesome. Moving to 28. As I said, this is a reasoning question شوية. It says here if a triangle is in set A, then it is not isosceles. That's what Jamie claims. Later, Jamie discovers that triangle MNP is a counter-example proving this claim false. So he proved in triangle MNP ده is a proof in the statement اللي فوق is not true. If a triangle is in set A, then it's not isosceles. So what could be true about this triangle? How can we counter example الstatement اللي فوق دي? This means that MNP must be an isosceles triangle but with set A. That's the first choice. Done. They said upstairs, في الأول, sorry, up. Jamie claims that any triangle in set A is not isosceles. So what's the opposite to that? Is that there is a triangle still in set A, but it is isosceles. So F is the correct one. Now, what does the word scalene mean? It's a triangle that has no sides that are equal to each other. Obtuse means it's a triangle that has one angle that's bigger than 90. That's what we call an obtuse triangle, an angle that's bigger than 90. And then scalene again means there are no sides equal, and isosceles means they're equal to two sides equal to each other. But then F must be the correct one. Does this make sense ولا لأ? Emily, I'm sorry, was that recent? طيب, so still this doesn't make sense شوية to you? You feel that this is confusing ولا أنا I got it wrong? here's the important one. هنا بقى قال لي في parallelogram وقال لي ال side AB و CD are root 10. So AB which is this one اللينث بتاعه root 10 و CD برضو اللينث بتاعه root 10. AD و BC 5 coordinates long, so this one اللينث بتاعه 5 و this one برضو اللينث بتاعه 5. The distance between AD and BC is 3 units. يعني ايه ال distance بقى؟ ال distance is this one. الفرق ال vertical اللي هو this distance here الطول. while ال root 10 ده هو طول اللاين اللي مايل شوية. So here this distance is 3. So ال height من الآخر بتاع الشيب ده is 3. لما يجي هنا يسألني what's the area? The area of any shape with 4 sides is supposed to be length times width أو base times height بمعنى أصح. The base here is 5 and the height here we just said is the 3. It's not the root 10 because the base and height must be perpendicular on each other. They must create a 90 degree angle. So it's 5 times 3, so it's 15. This is the area of the parallelogram D. Does this make sense ولا في أي حد متلخبط؟ Yes, of course. Again, الاريا بتاعت أي حاجة في الدنيا المفروض that shape 4-sided المفروض تكون base times height. So what's the base and what's the height? البيس هو الطول ده كله على بعضه اللي من أول A لحد D. This is the base. طوله ب 5. الهايت لازم يكون perpendicular على البيز. So الهايت هو الطول ده اللي ب 3 مش root 10. root 10 cannot be the height. ليه cannot be؟ عشان الروت 10 ده side معوج. It does not create 90 degrees مع البيز. الهايت والبيز لازم يكونوا عاملين exactly 90 degrees. Does this make sense يا كريم؟ Perfect. لما بجا في number 30 قال لي what's the distance between point B and D. So there's a formula for the distance that we took earlier. How to find the distance between 2 points. الفورمولا دي is root كبير جواه rise power 2 plus run power 2. That's it. يعني ايه؟ يعني square root همسك ال 2 points فين B و D ادي 0 و 4. The other point is 4 and 1. وهعمل y2 minus y1 to the power of 2 plus x2 minus x1 to the power of 2 برضو. So 1 minus 4 power 2 plus 4 minus 0 power 2 under the square root, and the answer here will be 5. So the distance here of this side is 5. Does this make sense, everyone? Remember this rule, it's extremely important. This is how we find the distance between any 2 points whatsoever. What's the slope of BC? So when you look at BC, it's a horizontal line. This BC, it's a horizontal line. Now, a line لما بيكون parallel للX axis زي ده بالظبط يعني horizontal line كده السلوب بتاعه بيكون 0. while لما يكون اللاين parallel to the y axis vertical line السلوب بتاعه undefined. اللاين لما يكون من الشمال لليمين طالع لفوق يعني مع علامة نايك this is a positive slope. اللاين من الشمال لليمين نازل لتحت يعني عكس علامة نايك this is a negative slope. In this case it's clearly a horizontal line so the slope is 0. Moving on to 32. The only parallelogram ABCD will be reflected across the y-axis. What will be the coordinates of image A? So whenever we reflect a point on the y-axis, what happens? لما بعمل reflection over the y-axis, the x coordinate changes the sign. لو عملت reflection across the y-axis, ال x coordinate بتchange the sign. بس لو عملت reflection across x-axis ال y coordinate would change the sign. So الموضوع بيمشي بالعكس. لما هو يقول لي انا هعمل reflection across the y axis، ايه اللي هيحصل لبوينت A؟ هشوف بوينت A فين اهي، it's negative 1 and 1، وهغير لها ال x coordinate sign، بدل negative 1 it will become positive 1. So it will the new point will become 1 and 1, which is J. Does this make sense? Are we all good?
Yes.
Perfect. Please, please, please fill in the exit ticket. What will happen next class is the following. We're going to finish this test. There are two things though to tell you. Please listen carefully. I'm doing a just give me 1 second.